Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hello, welcome to TFYLP episode 445. We are live tonight, Monday, August 30th. I'm Lucas. I am joined tonight by Paul.
Welcome to the Haslab.
And Rick.
Crush your enemies.
And Peter.
Forever Destron and see them driven before you and hear the limitations of their women?
There you go. So, Rick, it's been a minute since you've been on. What's been taking up all your time?
Well, besides trying to groom myself into the perfect gentleman, I like to ask my tenants, there's other ways to pay the rent, my dear, if you know what I mean. Well, I am opening a store.
It's homelessness for me.
Yeah, I'm opening a store on Wednesday, my own business. I bought a business.
Yay!
I bought a business. So it's called the Frame and Picture Shop Pop Culture Art Gallery. It's in Wilbraham, Massachusetts. And, well, I'm in the framing business now. My friend Kimberly, who's framed a lot of my art, who you guys have seen some of it, she retired and sold me the business. And Wednesdays are a big reopening. And I'm going to try and bring some pop culture to the woods of Western Massachusetts. Besides the traditional art, which, is the bread and butter.
Very cool, man. Congratulations.
Lighthouses, bird paintings, watercolors of flowers. But at the same time, I've got quite an assortment of robots and monsters and scantily clad sci-fi monsters. Robot individuals.
So as a side business, do you also frame people for things?
Not yet. No, I'm looking into that.
With that mustache, it should be easy.
But yeah. We are going to specialize in framing comic books. And follow us on Twitter at Frame and Picture Shop. Shop is SHOPPE because it's fancy. And yeah, I want to have a booth at TFCon. Gonna try and bring some professional framing to the world of art and the world of the fandom.
There you go.
So it's something kind of new, really. I mean, some people, a lot of people have posters and stuff. They just never quite get around to getting it, framed and presented in the way that I think they intend to. But you can maybe encourage them to do so.
Well, I find that a lot of comic book art collectors just have flat files or a folder, and that's where their art lives. And how can you appreciate it? So besides going on my own and trying to frame all the stuff I have and putting it on display for people, I've secured quite a few wonderful pieces from people I used to work with over at the Bro, who are no longer there, and they've sent me a ton of original packaging art, some paintings, some stuff's coming that I'm just waiting on the molding to come so I can have it framed. I'm going to have a lot of stuff at TFCon that I haven't shown you guys in the private chat. And yeah, we're gonna do some major shadow boxes. If you guys have seen the Boneyard, we're gonna do some major shadow boxes. The next one coming is an Alien Queen painting by Transformers artist and comic book artist Ken Christensen. We're doing an awesome shadow box with the alien eggs at the bottom and the face huggers crawling up. And then the outside of the frame's molded into the alien hive. And there's the goo, the saliva from the aliens is dripping down the whole frame. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That sounds
I
awesome.
hope to have that one at TFCon.
Yeah, that sounds like a cut above.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So I get to still be creative. And I get to be my own boss.
There you go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I answer to my wife.
So, have you convinced your wife to let you put some of that framed art like upstairs, or does it still have to stay down in the basement?
No, well, a lot of the art that was in the basement, I moved to the store for the galleries. There's still some choice pieces which I am hesitant to show in the house. But she did finally let me hang up a piece. It's a piece we bought when we were in Hawaii a few weeks ago. I framed it up. It's really nice. It's giclée. It's autographed by the artist, and it's hanging in the bathroom because she doesn't use that particular bathroom. So it's in the downstairs bathroom.
Yeah, I didn't know if this was a way to convince your wife to, start like taking over other parts of the house with your collection, or
Slowly.
if this is
Yeah.
just part of it that you really bought the business so that you could like kind of start to, you've realized you've ran out of space in your basement, so
Yeah.
you have to start filling up other businesses and whatnot with all your stuff.
Right. So besides the basement and the multi-car garage, I now have secured this 2-level building where my shop is. And 2 of the back rooms I've already designated as being potential display areas. And
Oh yeah.
right now I've just got the rooms loaded with like posters and art and stuff that's for my collection that I gotta go, and I'm starting to frame all that stuff. So I'm gonna have a lot of people that maybe some people recognize some of their names sending me art, and I'm gonna try and sell it for them and make it look good.
Nice. Well, congratulations and good luck
Thank you.
with the opening here on Wednesday.
Wednesday it is. Yes. That's why I got my whiskers trimmed.
So tonight, we're talking about a new Hasbro reveal that they hinted at a couple weeks ago. And they said, let's say go. And Peter was like, well, obviously everyone knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's Slammer, right?
So,
Overlord. We need another Overlord.
Deluxe Slammer.
So the first Japanese Transformer ever released in the U.S., right? Something like that.
Oh.
No, they...
No. I mean...
No, not the first one.
Not the first. Not the first. What's his name? The Pretender guy came in the gift set, and Great Shot came in the gift set.
Hot Carl.
Right. Metal Hawk.
Hot Carl. I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the Haslab, they revealed, what was it, last Friday? I guess it was. And did a special presentation on Victory Saber. Pretty exciting with that. So it's going to be in the Generations line. And if you want to go to the Hasbro Pulse website, I believe they have the whole presentation up there, or you can go on their YouTube and check it out with all the pieces and whatnot. So it was a pretty quick presentation overall. I think it was only maybe 15 minutes or so. So we can.
Are we gonna talk
over an
about
hour
all the
about it.
tiers and stuff like that? I'm just
Well, yeah.
looking at the Hasbro Pulse page right now, and we need 11,000 people to fund it.
Yep.
It's already at 4,841 backers. But the price of this—that's what gets me. The price I think it's a phenomenal price for what you're getting.
Yep.
The price is $189. I'm sorry, $179.99. My bad.
I was gonna say $189. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, $179.99. You get Star Saber and Victory Leo.
Yep.
It's great. Absolutely great for the Generations line. Proper molds of these characters, not a retool of Overlord or Cyclonus or Combiner War Silverbolt. Proper Generations Chug. edition Star Saber Victory Leo. I'm very happy with what I've seen so far. I think somebody at Hasbro is going to get a promotion for this.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I think there's
I don't know
gonna
about
be
the
kudos all
promotion.
around.
I hope. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think everyone should high five and hug each other because I think it looks phenomenal. Both Star Saber and Victory Leo look great. And
Yes. And I think
saw
the first tier, the first unlockable item, it's a good one.
Mhm.
Now, there are some people online who think that the tier should have been included with this. And the first tier is the Victory Leo cannon and some blast effects, right? That cannon really makes the Victory Leo pop, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a staple of that character.
It's a staple. Yeah.
It's a staple of the character. You got to have that big hip gun, right? But you know what? It works great without it. Because Generations is not... I think some people forget that Generations is not an exact word-for-word retelling of G1. That's not how Generations started. I mean, look at the 2005 Optimus and Rodimus and Starscream. They were great for what they were. They're dated now. And now, yes, we have more animation-inspired figures. But they're still not exact to what we had. We still don't have this the Seeker with the short missiles and the long missiles, right? With the little landing gear that you can take off and put it in the cockpit, with the opening and shut cockpit. All right, so what? That was G1. We're living in the now, right? We're moving forward. And I think it's okay that it doesn't have the blaster. But you know what? I got a feeling at $180, we're going to blow it out of the water, and I think we're going to get the 14,000 members. It takes 11,000 to fund, 14,000 to unlock the first tier. I think we're going to get that. There are 2 additional tiers. One at 17,000, one at 20,000. They haven't revealed what those are. You know, you want to continue to build hype during the promotion. You want a reason to send updates to people. So good on them for not revealing them. But are we taking any speculation on what those are going to be?
Illumina 2.
Say that again?
The Illumina 2. Do you know what the Illumina 2 is?
It's been a while. That's for Paul. Explain it.
Okay, for Paul. My pie in the sky hope is that we get one of a couple things. The Illumina 2 was Jan's car that he made in episode 36, Jan Defend the School, or Jan Defend the Campus. It was a car that had like frog legs that could like march around, and he used it to fight the Dino Force in defending the school. And he named it Illumina 2 after his girlfriend from school, Illumina. And it's just a little pop-up transforming car thing. It's a little orange thing. It's cute.
It's a Veritech car.
Basically, yeah. It would be just a fun little wink, wink, nod, nod. Know what I mean? If they're really jumping in on this whole victory thing, I mean, I'd love to see the Multi-Senshi and the Dino Force and new versions of the Breast Force and everyone. But yeah, I think that would be a really neat victory specific thing that would be a fun unlock. Now that's not for everybody. It's not one of those things that everyone's gonna be like, oh, the Illumina 2, because 3 out of the 4 of us just went, the what?
Right. But
it's a fun.
Is it really character centric? Is it really centric to that character?
It's centric in that Jan is Star Saber's son, his adopted human son, and that is his specific vehicle that he built. It only shows up in Victory and only for like 4 or 5 episodes, and it's just one of those things that really, and you know, Jan's love for Victory Leo, Jan's love for Star Saber, you know, it was just a whole big family thing, and it would like help complete the Star Saber family. Or we could just get a Jan in his little spacesuit.
Mm-hmm. Any other guesses? What 2 additional unlockable tiers are going to be?
Did the does the figure come with the shield? The Star Saber shield? So
Nope.
that
Sure, it doesn't.
I that would be my guess. One of the tiers would be the shield.
And they
The shield
haven't
didn't
said
come
if
with the
the
original
sword
figure.
is chrome, right?
Oh well.
Because I would really want that sword to be chrome. So if that's one of the tiers, I know it's a simple thing, but I would love to have a chrome sword.
Yeah. Well, there's always upgrade kits as well too. So I mean, that's the thing is Peter was showing off before that I'm sure the DNA people are probably hoping that extra bits and bops don't come with this figure so that they can produce it and put it into a $50 package to go on top of your figure. So you had the DNA kits for the Scorponok.
Yep, I got him sitting over there too. Hey, I just want to, like, it's in the back of my head, and I can't remember if I dreamt this or not. There is a Black Zarek coming out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Pre-orders are
Okay.
up.
All right.
It's
I must have
real.
ordered that already, because I just, in the back of my head, I'm like, did I dream that, or is that real?
It's just going to show up at your door one day.
I
You're
totally
like-
forgot. Like, I got an email today saying Blur's on the way. So,
Oh, I'm surprised your Blur's not here yet. I think I got mine last week.
well, I ordered in mass quantity, so that might have been an issue.
Oh, maybe. So, and you know, it's packed with care and love, especially the comic. It's actually kind of amazing that so they just put the comics in there in the box, and I was actually kind of surprised at the condition of my comic. Actually, wasn't that bad considering that they just threw it in there. But
Man, I got my red alerts, aka not wheeljacks, from the Pulse the other day. And they must have found the smallest box possible to fit both those figures in. They just kind of like, I think they took the palm of their hand and just like, you have to apply a certain amount of pressure to make them fit in that box. So I was quite displeased.
Yeah.
yeah,
Almost everything I've purchased for the last 3 months from either Pulse, BBTS, they've all just shown up completely just flarped. Just corners smashed, bubbles smashed, tops smashed. Just toys are fine, but it sucks to be a mitten box collector right now.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had an issue ordering single pieces. So I think going forward, I'm going to put in an order for a single piece, go back, order another one, instead of having it be one shipment for 2 figures.
I've had it with multi-figure shipments, different figures, single figures, just everything. It's like they've got it out for me lately.
Ron says that the comic is the packing material. So there you go.
It's not funny.
So
So a little history on who created Shattered Glass. Peter, do you know who created Shattered Glass?
Ben Yee.
Incorrect. It was everyone's favorite Texan, Brian Savage.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. He said I remember I got the call. I was standing in my studio apartment looking at something. I got the call and it's like, "Hello, Brian. Rick, I got an idea for you. I've been trying to make this G.I. Joe mirror thing like in Star Trek. You know what that is?" And I'm like, G.I. Joe as bad guys, as bad guys, and Cobra as good guys, and he kept talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, but I want to do that with Transformers because we can't come up with any ideas." I'm like, "Yeah, that'll work." And he kept like harping on this, like, we have to call him Megatron Prime. I'm like, no, just it's Megatron and Optimus Prime. It's fine. I will say my little bit of fame, my little shining moment of Shattered Glass is I got to come up with the Till All Are Gone line. That was my little. Oh, and the windshield cracked on Prime's titty. The titty crack. That was my little bit of fame.
That's how I think of it every time I see it. The titty crack.
The titty crack. Yep. That's what it is.
We do have a show where we are reviewing the comics. So if you want to check that out, it comes out whenever the comics come out. So I think last Wednesday they did a show for the initial issue. So check that out. Anna is leading that charge. So it's kind of an offshoot from the we have book club where everyone's reading comics on Sunday nights on the TF Talk Discord. But this is a broadcast show for the new Shattered Glass comic. So, and then just depending on that, we may continue it for some of the other new comics coming out. We'll see. Just how things go and whatnot. So.
Yep.
But.
So, Paul, you're not very versed in the world of Japanese Transformers. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh, I don't know anything about them.
All right. So, I wouldn't call you a casual collector. You're a specific collector, right?
Sure. You can call me whatever
How do
you
you
want.
feel about this Victory Saber?
I mean, at first glance, pretty disappointed.
Why is that?
I'm not. I think I knew it was coming, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I just didn't exactly know what it would be, and it just I don't like. I guess I've never liked the way Victory Saber looks with his giant stilts, and I would have, I guess, wanted them to make a more graceful combination thing so his proportions looked a little better, because his legs are super long. And then the wings aren't long enough comparatively, but in general, I mean, it looks like the character, it looks correct. I think the price is shockingly low, but it's also, this isn't maybe as big as I was expecting it to be. It's more of a leader with the Voyager than say its own sort of size class. But I think these toys do a lot. They do all the combines that they should. They have, the old ones were bricks, complete bricks. So this is a big improvement. Sure, it's not I think everyone's trying to compare it to the Masterpiece toy. Well, it's not a Masterpiece toy. It's
not a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's mainline. It's Unicron wasn't a Masterpiece either. This just never would have appeared at retail because it's kind of too risky. So this is the proper channel for it. And I don't have a problem with the V-Lock cannon being an add-on, because all that stuff, they don't raise the price on you when you get more stuff. You're paying for all the add-ons with the $179.99. You just might not get them, and if you don't, then tough stuff. But all the things that are going to
come out later somehow.
Yeah, for an even more money. But I'm just saying, we get to that 22,000. Is it 20,000 people backing it? Your price doesn't change. You just get more. The price you're paying accounted for all those unlocks, whether you get them or not.
Right. So you like the process.
I'm into the Kickstarter thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel? Are you going to get one of these?
It doesn't. I'll get one. I'll keep it in box. That'd be the only reason. I'm not going to open this because I don't collect Victory Saber.
Lucas, your same question. Are you getting this?
Well, yeah. I already backed it, but Paul, see,
same here.
This is why you need to be a character collector of Victory Saber and whatnot, right? Because there's not that many releases. See, you're doing it wrong when you're doing Starscream and all that, because there's a 1,000. You go pick up another Starscream next week.
There's some tricky Star Saber stuff to get.
There's the Junior, there's the PD type, there's a couple of the rare the black recolor of the Robot Master, which isn't that hard, but yeah, there are some interesting ones.
The original toy is actually the hardest one to get.
I don't think so. Maybe in the first edition box it's hard to get.
Yeah, the horizontal box is harder to get, but the figure itself, no.
Well,
I remember. This is how old I am. I paid $200 for a sealed second version Star Saber.
I'm about to one up you. You ready? I spent $150 for a sealed second version Star Saber in 1998, a year after I put Victory Saber, a picture of him, in my school newspaper because I was pissed off that a poll that I did for what was your favorite 80s cartoon got 3 whole responses. So I wrote a column that was like, fuck you, here's Transformers. And put a picture of Victory Saber and did a history of Japanese Transformers in my school newspaper in 1997.
I'm sure everyone appreciated that.
Did you get laid from that one?
I got fired from the newspaper.
The newspaper did an article on me my senior year. Senior has amazing collection. I should probably frame that.
You should frame that.
There you go.
Yeah. I know how to now.
So, but yeah, for me, I mean, I think that this is, great. And I mean, to be honest, like, I think the price is really good. Even if it is, say a couple liters in a deluxe or whatnot. Because if this wasn't a Haslab thing, it would have been, potentially a Takara thing, and you would have paid the same price because, like, I've got this box set over here that was a similar price to that, and it does a similar thing, and it's, I guess, a couple liters together for the same price. It's
worse. It's a remolded liter of a figure that you could have bought here in the U.S.
Right, exactly.
And it just sucks,
Yeah, it's not. This isn't all that great of a figure itself.
It does have like shelf presence. Like I have mine combined somewhere.
It looks nice.
It does, and you can those little heads in there you can resell for the entire package for the same price. It's so awesome. So good set, goodbye. I mean, if Japan had released this on their own, it probably would have been a little cheaper. But
it would have been a Takara Tomy Mall thing. It would have been limited. The aftermarket price would immediately spike. It would be frustrating to get. This is accessible. Yeah. It's affordable, and it looks great, in my opinion.
And it's coming straight to you.
Hopefully in a delightfully smashed box, he said a year ahead of time.
Speaking of that, I wonder how what this is going to look like box wise. Like, it better not be just a cardboard Generation Selects bullshit.
It's going to be a black cardboard Generation Selects bullshit.
They need to do a box just like the Gajinrai one you sent. We need some artwork on this guy.
Yeah, let's talk about the box, because after seeing the Snake Mountain Castle Grayskull boxes from Super 7, like, there is no reason why Hasbro, charging the price that they charge for Unicron, couldn't have given a box. Now, I understand there's a lot more parts. I understand the production. I was there. I was behind the scenes. I worked there. I understand. All that goes into making that Unicron. But at that point, when you have that much invested, give it a goddamn box.
I agree.
I mean, it has artwork. You just need 4 of them to complete it.
And luckily some of us have, right?
I've seen a photo or two.
So, but Ron in the chat was saying about the extra bits that, it seems like there's a leaked Galvatron repaint that's making the rounds with a bunch of stuff, and we wonder if maybe some of that stuff would have been additional tiers for Unicron. So maybe the same thing with Star Saber. But I do think that it seems like that Hasbro's kind of like hit their stride a little bit with with these Haslab, and so a lot of them are hitting their additional tiers and whatnot. I think didn't Galactus, didn't he hit all his tiers now?
Yeah, that's why I haven't pledged to this one yet, because I just did Galactus, and Galactus hit all its tiers.
Yeah.
28,000 people bought the Galactus.
Yeah.
It ends in 2 hours.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is that it wasn't even necessarily going to fund like a week ago, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I think we always knew it was going to fund. I was never worried about it.
But there were
Right, but
plenty
it
of.
was under the number or whatever at that point.
There's a whole psychology that goes around in this thing, and a whole like song and dance you see online, and people are like, "It's not gonna fund, it's gonna fund," and it's like, just if you don't think it's gonna fund, then why not fund it? Because you won't lose your money.
Right.
And then you get people that miss it, and then, like tomorrow in 2 hours, there's gonna be like a cry of a scream all over the country that you can probably hear if you stick your head out the window, like, "Oh, I forgot."
Right.
Yeah, that's what kills. You know what? It killed me that I didn't get the Mandalorian ship, the Razor Crest.
Uh-huh.
But then they blew the ship up at the end of season 2, and I didn't feel so bad anymore.
No, they blew it up the day after it closed.
Right.
It was
Like, you know what?
unreal.
I don't feel bad anymore.
I laughed
awesome.
so hard when they blew. I was like, "You just did what?" They couldn't have timed that better. I mean, I don't even think they could have. I think that had to have been a coincidence that with the timing of it. It couldn't have been like, "Holy crap, we have to have this end before that episode airs."
It's possible that someone had that foresight. I don't know.
I mean, I would be amazed considering how many things don't go the way they want that one would have. But maybe when you're dealing with Disney, it's like a different animal.
Yeah, well, Disney does tend to send. I won't single Disney out because other people have done it too. Some studios, I don't know if it's the studio or if the production team, the director, sometimes they do send stuff that's pre-production or flat out old for you to base your toy designs off of. Or they send you like unimportant characters, so you end up making a lot of black series of like guys that don't ever show up in the movie.
Like Jana. You know, it is interesting how the different brands have handled this Haslab stuff. I feel like the Marvel team is like balling it up with the Haslab stuff.
I honestly don't know what's next for Marvel when it comes to Haslab. I don't know what else. I mean, what are they? A Giant Man? I don't know. I wouldn't pay for Giant Man. I'll tell you that.
I guess where I was going with this is that it seems each brand gets to like dabble in Haslab however they want. And I feel like the Marvel team has their shit together a little better than the Transformer team. Just because their presentations are like a lot more bombastic and just seem like very well structured and polished a little bit.
Well, that's kind of been their presentations in general, right? I mean, it seems like that they've done a really good job on the Marvel team has on their presentations. Like,
it could be that that's just easier to market because it's like so popular. You know, it's like ubiquitous now, and Transformers is still kind of like fringy in a way.
Transformers is fringy, and no one from the movie-verse fan base gives a shit about Victory Saber. Half of them don't give a shit or know about Unicron. That's that thing from the old cartoon. Ew.
That's a good point. This is a deep cut. I mean, like, not super deep, but like so deep that the people that run this thing didn't even know this was not the first Japanese Transformer that they've ever done.
Right. Well, yeah. So let me throw something out, you guys. I mentioned earlier that the tiers would be character specific. I don't have any inside knowledge into this. I'm assuming from a marketing perspective that it would be character specific. Do we know if that Galvatron is an exclusive to PulseCon? What if that Galvatron?
We don't know what's going on with that Galvatron yet.
We have no idea where it's going to.
What if that Galvatron's one of the tiers?
Why would Galvatron, aside from the movie coming out in 1989 in Japan, aside from the movie coming out in 1989 in Japan, what does Galvatron have to do?
Doesn't matter. So
they would throw in Galvatron as an incentive to get people to buy Victory Saber?
Why not?
If they're going to go that far, you make Signal Lancer.
Do Signal Lance? I mean, something that is kind of character at least series specific. They could do a wholly in Victory colors, because in Victory, Holy or Stakeout was not the Micromaster colors. He was white and black police car with a different color, deco thingy, as opposed to the all black that they eventually did recolor him in Zone. The toy was never released in those colors, but the cartoon had a different deco. So that would be a fun, easy reuse for an existing tool that is Victory specific, that wouldn't cost. I mean, it's all relative, but there's no new tooling budget required there.
That would be very cool. But is that enough?
Funny. I think that what they need to do is put an exclusive Beast Wars figure, like in the last tier or whatnot. So in that way, all the Beast Wars fans have to buy this in order to complete their Beast Wars, like Tarantulas or something like that. Like, I realize that's, I think, already in the next line, but somehow they, have to get that in order to complete their collection.
Here's something I'm going to throw out. Because you mentioned Beast Wars, and I'm not sure if there'll ever be a Beast Wars Haslab set. Who knows? Maybe there will be. But I think if you're going to do Beast Wars Haslab, I say you go crazy and do Transmetal 2 Dinobot. Because that might be the only place you get a Transmetal 2 Dinobot masterpiece.
Oh, so now you're talking masterpiece. That would be
doing
masterpiece.
It's a different beast.
Talking about Chugster piece.
If we were doing Chugster piece, I would go for Beast Wars Haslab. I would do the freaking taco tank. Flip it out and shake it around. Taco tank.
And it's got all the and the tiers are the frog or the squid in all the different colors.
Yep. Do a card and Clawjaw or whatever. Just like do it up.
Do the European version and everything. Well, I mean, if we're keeping it the Chug, I really don't know what Beast Wars they could do. I don't think Magnaboss or Tripredacus is going to cut it. Right? I mean, unless they're going to give me that Beast Wars Neo Unicron.
Question for you.
Can't do Unicron again.
Did you ever see the Beast Wars Neo Unicron yourself?
No. Takara, that was their like, oh, we have Beast Wars Neo Unicron. You have your Unicron. Our Neo Unicron's better, and they would bring it out as like a show of like force. Like, look how much better ours is.
Then what?
Than Armada?
Than the one that we never put out in the 1980s.
Oh, 86?
Oh, well, okay. I remember signing a petition like, I don't know.
Hey, I did this. I signed it too.
Did you make that petition, Peter?
I didn't make the petition, but I signed it. We should find it. We should pull everyone's names. We should find that thing.
Start a mailing list.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
I think we're getting cute with our decisions. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be that shield and maybe the sword for Saber.
Sword.
Isn't the sword already coming with it?
The sword already comes with it, but I want a chrome sword.
There's a little sword that came with the masterpiece. I'm not sure if that's in the show, but it was like kind of like the master sword, It was like a small one for Cerebros or Fortress.
It didn't like grow or anything in the cartoon. He had a sword and then it just had it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, those are real. I think whatever these are is going to be kind of a bum out. So I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm not expecting much.
Yeah. Well, it could be a surprise.
But what does Unicron have to do with
I
Victory
don't know.
Saber?
I don't know. Why not just keep going on with the slugs though? But
Okay. I got this. Okay. So Dark Nova disguised himself as Unicron while chasing the Zodiac energy and sending Super Megatron to go get it, which was used to restore, Convoy and make him into Star Convoy. And the Zodiac energy was guarded by Diatlas, who was given command of the Cybertrons by Victory Saber. Synergy.
And nobody cared.
But somebody asked.
So if this is successful, do we think that we're going to see more Japanese Transformers done this way? through Haslab?
Yes, like Black
I hope-
Jarek. Wait,
I hope
You
for
know,
Haslab. I don't
I
We're
am
gonna-
honestly surprised that it's Victory Saber. I really was kind of expecting Dino King and then there to be a retail release of Monstructor. And I thought, all right, well, if they do something in Victory, then maybe the tiers are the shells. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with Star Saber's great. I'm happy to get started. I'm gonna get 2 of them because I gotta have. I mean, at least 2, one each individual guy, and then 1 combined, and then need
Yeah, but
1
then-
sealed.
Yeah, I was gonna say you need 1 sealed, so.
I need 1 sealed. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, one thing for me is that I was always jealous of Takara back in the day because, like, for Hasbro, I felt like that they always were making figures to a price point. Like, it's like this, it has to be this size, it has to be this price point or whatever. Like, this is your deluxe, this is your, Voyager, this is your leader, whatever, this is your Titan, all that kind of thing, right? And so then all of the limitations of that price point were, felt by us because it's like it's not exactly what we want. Or like they may have had to skimp on pay damps. We may have to skimp on this, that, and whatever. Whereas Takara would always be like, we want to do this figure. And then like they wouldn't necessarily charge a certain specific price point. Like there might be one deluxe figure that is, I don't know, whatever, 20,000 yen, or I can't remember, whatever it is, like, one that's $20 and one that's $40 and whatever, just, depending on what they did, they just made it. And so one of the things I think that nowadays with Hasbro that I appreciate is that the leaders like are just like here's because of this engineering, it's this, we had to make this the Voyager price point, we had to make this the leader price point. Or we're seeing this now with the Rodimus, that it's the commander class price point. And so I feel like that this is a similar thing, that like this wasn't going to fit in retail. It's not a Titan class figure. And so, and like, I'm sure too that the retailers, when they're like, hey, like when Hasbro went to them and said, hey, let's, what do you think about doing a Japanese Transformer that never, we never had media here, and oh no, we don't plan on putting out any new media to support this character. What do you guys think? That, Walmart and Target are like, yeah, no. So I think that this is a creative way to kind of get what we want as a Generations collector.
From the same people that said take Astro Train and Soundwave as exclusives, what does Soundwave turn into? A box? Do kids know what a tape deck is? No.
But he's a super hot character, and everyone knows Soundwave. He's tape deck guy.
All right. What about Blaster?
He's other tape deck guy.
He's not as cool tape deck guy. I don't think. I mean, that's a beautiful tale you just wove there, Lucas. You couldn't convince me that Hasbro solicited this to retailers. These Haslab things, they plan on them for Haslab. It's been a big question. What do you follow up Unicron with? And I think this is kind of a good choice. And surprise. This is probably going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a major part, but he'll probably be in the new show that comes out after War for Cybertron. Just like Unicron was for War for Cybertron.
They're going to make another Transformers show?
Of course they are.
Will it be as good as the War for Cybertron trilogy?
I'm sure it'll be just as good.
One can only hope.
So, no, have they announced a new show? No, but I'm using my powers of deduction and reason to make that assumption.
Well, we've got Rise of the Beast coming out, and
Beast.
I hate anything with the title Rise in. It's like the same as saying 2000, Godzilla 2000, Blues Brothers 2000, Rise of Cobra. Rise of the Beast. Where are the beasts rising from? Why are they rising?
Find out in December of next year. They're probably rising for explosions and sexist jokes and
Slow motion.
slow motion, lack of characterization, and diminishing box office returns.
I gotta say, Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal does get me a little excited. But Optimus and Cheetor are going to be in it. Who do you think the other guys are going to be? Do you think they're going to bother? I don't think they'll bother with a Dinobot.
There's cannon fodder, scrappy scraps. Oh, I got blowed up in the first 5 seconds. No lines. No lines is my favorite. Gruntor, Grunty,
You
and
forgot
Gruntus.
Red Shirt?
Yeah, red shirt. Thank you. Yeah.
And product placement bot.
Mountain Dew bot, Dispensor.
But they have to use
Bull.
retro cans. They have to use like early 90s retro cans if they're going to do a modern take on old Dispensor.
Oh my God! What
Right.
if it's Surge? They could use Surge.
They could do Surge. Yep. Well, Surge was 98 through... Well, Surge is back now. I don't know. Surge first showed up 97, 98. It wasn't there in 92.
When does the movie take place? 97?
I thought it was 92. I don't know. If it's 97, we could do Surge.
It really doesn't matter, does it?
doesn't
Like,
Nothing
It's all going to
matters.
be anachronistic explosion nonsense.
right.
With heart. This time.
So
Some Prime's going to be like, give me your heart. And crushing people's hearts now.
there's
Set faces.
it's
They've
going
already
to be a coming of age story though, so it'll be
And there's they've already promoted. They basically told you it's going to be bad. They're like, there's 800 characters. That's what you guys want, right? Characters and characters and characters and humans. And we're going to Peru.
Oh, that's the last place on Earth with ancient megalithic ruins that they haven't blown up in the
I
Transformers series.
hope
So
they blow it up.
they got
I
to
hope
blow up
they-
Machu Picchu.
They'll knock Winapichu into the. Actually, maybe it transforms into a giant eagle because that's how it's
Right.
built.
I think
Flies
Machu
away.
Picchu is actually Trypticon.
Oh my God.
As long as they
he's the whole
destroy
mountain.
it mercilessly and no one blinks an eye at the fact that they're destroying, they're just like, we've got to stop the bloopity bloops because the blop blop needs to get to the wherever thing. Then I'll be happy.
Scrotum.
So
gotta get to
one
the
question
ruins.
I have, shifting gears here from the movie and explosions and whatnot, is what do you guys think about Haslab in general? Have you been happy with Haslab? Do you think it's a good idea that Hasbro is doing this and essentially kickstarting their figures instead of just releasing them themselves, like whether or not they're doing it through retail partners or themselves through their store or whatnot? Do you think that Haslab is a good idea, and have they executed it well?
Yes.
I would say yes so far.
I would say I like the idea. Execution can be a little better. Especially, there was the whole Unicron debacle, right? But, Star Wars went well, and I'm looking forward to the Rancor. I'm absolutely getting a Rancor. I'm putting that in my shop during Halloween season. Absolutely. Now, I don't have a lot of toys at the shop. I don't have any toys except over my workstation, I have the Katana, the big Star Wars Java sail barge. I've got that. And people think, oh, that's a weird boat. What is that?
And
And,
start telling pirate jokes to them, right?
Right. Yeah. But that's it. And then, I got a ton of Transformers and G.I. Joe art and Star Wars art and Marvel art on the wall, so.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The one thing that sucks that's weird about Haslab is if it doesn't, the Unicron had trouble funding. And
I think that was due to
it was
poor
kind of
planning.
embarrassing. The way that all went down was kind of embarrassing, but it's
It was. And this is
I-
where Nick would say that we didn't need a $600 figure out of the gate that looked as unfinished as Unicron ended up looking. there were issues with that figure. But Haslab in general, as just a Kickstarter idea, I think it, as much as I'm not fond of like gatekeeping and stuff, but it's time to put up or shut up. If you're a big fan and you want to do the thing and you want to support the Galactus or you want to support the Cookie Monster or whatever you want to support, now is the time to put your money where your mouth is and buy the thing that you say you've been clamoring for forever. Eventually, Unicron went through. However it happened, I'm glad it happened.
Well,
we all got ours, and I'm more or less happy.
With Star Wars, they market what they're going to. They say, "Hey, Rancor's coming at the end of the year. Get your money ready." Transformers, like, "Hey, fuckface, this was live last week. Why didn't you pledge?"
But it's another one that's like we started to touch on it earlier, and I wanted to get a little bit into it. The cry, the day after cry. Oh, they cheated me. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I this and that. Whatever your complaint is. Now is not the time. Snoozing. Paul's doing the snoozing motion. You have months.
Every single one of these figures from Haslab has went like way up because it's like they make what they make and that's the supply. And so then like,
suddenly,
yeah,
Except for the
that's
katana.
the thing I don't understand is that like most of these, I mean, I do understand the people that if for whatever reason that they don't have the funds at that particular time, or they just miss out because, you know, say 5 years from now, you know, someone who was a kid back then couldn't, you know, like if you're 5 years old now, it's going to be hard for you to get a Unicron potentially.
The boy is sad that he did not get a Unicron.
Yeah.
You know? But that's $600 for at that point he was 11. He's not getting that.
Right. Exactly. So
Right, save for college, dude.
So I mean, so I understand like, you know, some of those cases, but it's just crazy like the Unicrons where like in just a lot of these figures are, you know, double the value and whatnot of what they were, and so that's, you know. That's the thing is it's a limited supply, but
well, to touch on that, Lucas, do we have an opinion on if Hasbro will ever re-release any of the Haslab items?
I mean,
really
I
feel
could
like
see
they
it down the
shouldn't.
road. Like I could see it like 10 years later where it's like the best of Haslab you get, and like they might try to do it in a limited fashion where it's like, oh, you know, this month is gonna be this toy, or this month is gonna be then, or whatever, like, or like one a year or something, like I don't know, whatever, like, but
Haslab.
One a year
Classic.
reissue 10 years from now?
what's that?
Like a 1 a year reissue 10 years from now? Like, hey, this year's Haslab reissue is the katana, and it comes with XYZ, so everyone who bought it originally has to buy another one.
Right.
And if you
And
didn't
then
get it
they'll, like-
originally, then you can get it now.
And you know, maybe potentially repaint it so that it's like not exactly the same kind of kind of thing and whatnot. So I could see
Make it
something
frustrating. Yeah.
something along those lines, kind of thing. But I mean, I don't know. In my mind, I feel like a lot of this was probably born of, you know, when Toys R Us, you know, went out of business and whatnot, and then Hasbro's probably looking at new avenues to diversify themselves and whatnot, you know, to do this. So I don't know. I personally, like, I've been burned by, you know, Kickstarters that were not Hasbro Kickstarters. You know, other ones, I don't know if you guys have as well. And so,
I've been burned by Kickstarter itself.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. That's a different story. Don't ever mention that again.
But yeah, so like, I mean, that's the thing is that, you know, a lot of the Kickstarter-y types of things, like, I'm kind of hesitant now to back those. But like Hasbro's, like, I just feel like, well, this is just another way for me to pre-order, you know, whatever figure that, you know, that it is, and it's a limited market, or they view it as a limited market, and so they want to make it to order and not have to worry about sitting on a lot of things, because I feel like in general that, you know, yours, I don't know, and we've talked before about the ebbs and flows of collecting and all that, and supply and demand, but I mean, there was a good time several years ago when all the Hasbro stuff, like all the Transformers stuff, was on clearance, and it would be at Ollie's and, you know, all that type of thing. And I mean, there still is, product at Ollie's, but I feel like overall that Hasbro's doing a much better job than what they did in the past of matching supply and demand.
So
that's what's beautiful about the Kickstarter thing is you are literally you are 1-to-1 matching supply and demand. And it's your fault if you had demand but did not act upon it. And to answer your question about should they reissue this stuff, no, they should not. They've even said these are one-of-a-kind things. They're never going to do them again. And if you're someone that, so say they do it 15
marketing
years.
People, man.
I know.
Marketing people come in and they go, hey, what do we have that we don't have to pay money for? Oh, we got all this Haslab stuff. Let's put it out.
Yeah, I understand. It's a corporation. It's not. You're not taking a person's word for this stuff. It's the ebbs and flows of the business. But I just don't like it when you're promised something they don't follow up on their word. It happens all the time in toy industry. But like these are big deals. So like if you end up spending $5,000 3 years from now on a Unicron, and then the next week they're like, oh, we're doing it again.
So I got a story like that. The G.I. Joe Collectors Club put out the October Guard, and I had an additional loose set. So I sold my loose set, and I think I sold it for $800. And then the next day they announced, unbeknownst to me, that they were reissuing it. Guy still paid.
You got lucky.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the reissues they are inherently different from the originals. So, hopefully that was a guy that thinks that way. Not everyone does.
Yeah.
Different
So,
barcodes,
speaking of Kickstarters, there's the Eagle Moss Kickstarter for the $700 Transformers chess set. Now, I threw in for it.
Yeah, Nick and I did too.
But there's no way it gets funded. Not for $300,000. I just don't see it happening. Peter, you seem to disagree.
I try to be pathologically optimistic when it comes to things coming out. Like even when like the Micromasters. Oh, the Micromasters! They didn't do every single Micromaster and every single Micromaster reading. They will. Give them time. They will. The no one's ever going to do a Victory Saber. That's too niche. That's too weird. That's too, fanboy-rific. They are. They will. It'll happen. So when it comes to the chess set, it's niche and it's expensive and it's not for everybody. But it'll probably fund because these things seem to, with the exception of Cookie Monster, have a magical way of just poof at the very end, and then everyone's happy.
There's a difference. So that's actually Kickstarter. So
that's an actual Kickstarter.
So there's definitely a possibility it might not fund unless like Eagle Moss just makes it fund by buying their own items, through the Kickstarter.
But you lose money doing that.
Of course.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
So right now, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Eagle Moss is doing a licensed Generation 1 chess set on Kickstarter. It's at $76,406. It's got 24 days to go. We need $300,000 for it to fund. Only 163 backers so far.
Whew.
I went all in. I did the $700 option. I would never play chess with them. I would put them on display and that's it.
They're a display piece, yeah.
But I don't see there being a demand for a Transformers chess set. If the Monopoly, the high-end Transformers Monopoly set, I think it was like $400.
$400 or $500. Yeah, they already did a $300 chess set back in 2011 or so, 2010. It wasn't as nice. And they did a Gen 1 one and they did a movie style one. It wasn't as nice. Yeah. But I mean, this is nicer. This is I don't know. I hope it's
very nice. I mean, I've heard people have some issues with quality of Eagle Moss. I don't think I own any of their products, so I can't speak to that.
Nick was talking about it when we did the reveals episode a few weeks ago, and said that there is a built-in Eagle Moss like rabid fan base that they might just want one piece, they might just want one particular character or whatever, but there's also those who there are people who just collect chess sets, and this is one to get.
If this particular chess set doesn't fund, I think Nick was also saying how this is an odd way for them to release this sort of product.
Yeah, normally it's subscription.
Yeah, do you think there's a possibility they could be like, well, it didn't kickstart, but we're going to do the subscription model because it didn't kickstart?
Yeah, I mean, I love statues anyway, so that's how I look at these items as statues. And I think they're all individually hand painted. So yeah, the size is an issue, but think about the labor that goes into making that. You appreciate it. You have to be into statues or be into chest to play both of them. To want to get this. It is niche. It's a niche market.
Yeah. I'm not
$600 is a lot for a chess set.
Let me pose a sort of a flip side thing. So these big, expensive items, that's kind of what Haslab's sort of for. It's these like dream items. And since they had so much trouble with Unicron, that may be why they went with a lower price point version of Star Saber. I'm not saying it's cheap, but like I was kind of expecting something to be like $300.
$300 is what was floated somewhere we saw or heard, that $300 was going to be the price point. And maybe that was the idea at one point when that information got out. I know I bought 2, and my kid, he's 13 now, and he bought 1. He's been saving since I sprinkled the information to him. And he saved his $300 and he was ready to go. So when we found out that it was $192 after tax or whatever, he bought that. Then we went out over the weekend and he found a Rodimus and was like, got that too. So now he's just cranking with all the leaders. He's ready to go. He's excited. So the 197 price point or 192 price point after tax should not be a deterrent, but I saw so much bitching in the chat and in the Facebook groups and on different sites. Oof.
Well,
complaining about it being expensive?
About it being too expensive. Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
So to my point, there's another product that came out recently that did not require any Haslabian intervention. And that's the Robosen Optimus Prime, which sold out like that. And now they have they feel like, whoa, demand is a lot. They probably were like, we're only going to sell 100 of these, based on the Unicron debacle. And they're like, whoops, wrong. This has mass market appeal, even though it's $800, $900, whatever it costs. So
that hits like nostalgia and business dads. You know what I mean? Like it's like a conversation piece. Order, Peter? Just one.
Business dads love it.
But yeah,
so it's different. I wanted to bring it up.
That product was kind of hitting a different market where, people that like robots, like not just us, but like it's just whatever, someone that needs to have the coolest tech toy, and they knew that and did a good job, I feel like, of marketing that, because they got like the CNET people on it, and like Jay and Silent Bob were the ones that were showing it off, and like whatever. So I think they were trying to go after a different market, not like the hardcore collectors with this. But I mean, one thing that I thought about with when they were floating that like higher price point, is like I was kind of disappointed, because I was like, what, if I want a $300 Victory Saber, you can get the Masterpiece Star Saber, and then there's a third party option. I know a lot of people like only want to do official, but you could do that, and that would have been about $300 or $350 or whatever between the two figures originally.
Symbol's price has gone up.
No, I realize now. Like, I know that I couldn't just go out, but if I wanted that at the time, when they originally came out, I would have spent about that. And
Yeah,
so
if Victor
it's
Saber
like,
were your dude, you would have nailed it. Yeah.
right. And that's obviously much, much nicer than, we're getting here. Like, I can't remember. I think the Simba had die casts and all that, right? Like, and
He's heavy.
so it's a very, very nice, figure itself. And then the Star Saber was, nicer and all that too. I mean, this is a Generations figure, and that's what I want. Like, I was pretty excited when I saw that the price was only 180. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Like, I get my Star Saber because, I had the Planet X Star Saber, and that on itself, like, and that's a very good figure as well. And that was, I think, 160 on its own, I believe, something like that. Whatever. Around that price. And so I was considering rebuying it because we haven't gotten an official Star Saber and all that, and I wanted, that character. But now I have the figure, and I have both figures for 180, and it goes with my Generations collection. I don't have to worry about, it sticking out and putting it on its own shelf and whatnot.
100%. Yeah. Absolutely correct.
I think people just get so caught up with the price point argument again and again and again, and you hear like that Saber's a deluxe, that Lio Kaiser's a Voyager, that the body for Star Saber is a leader only. It's like, well, these toys still defy those size classes because they do a lot more stuff than your average Voyager, Deluxe, and Leader. Like, they all work together in their own unique ecosystem, which had to be kind of designed, and as far as we know, doesn't really tie into any of the other legacy toys. Maybe your Energon monster or something, but
which we're all hoping is just a grotesque repaint.
Sure.
I think grotesque has become. That's probably the next Haslab figure.
Grotesque.
Grotesque.
From Silverbolt.
Right. Actually, it's from Octane.
When we did once or twice, we did like I think it was with the Unicron episode. What would the next Haslab be? Like, I don't think any of us said, "Oh, Victory Saber, duh." Like, it just wasn't.
Right.
It's not a premonition that I heard, that I remember hearing.
I think at that point we were all like, it's the Ark. It's the Ark. It's definitely the Ark. It wasn't the Ark.
No. But yeah. I think we did say, like, all new molded toys, that are unique molding of something or other, but no one said, like, it would be Star Saber, but that's what this is. It's something that's not likely going to be reused or redecoed. I mean, it might be cool if it did the dark version. I would kind of like that, even though it's sort of out there.
That's even more niche than the figure itself. I mean, that's only from Robot Masters, so
yeah, it's pretty deep cut. I just like the black. Like, it was before Shattered Glass and stuff. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like, again, this kind of opens up the door to, more Japanese Transformers. And, when we're kind of sitting there thinking, like, oh, what are they going to do for Haslab for Transformers? Like, now they have an avenue, or, like, by doing this, maybe they're just doing all kinds of deep cuts and whatnot that they see where, maybe they might do some Unicron trilogy or animated or just, who knows, whatever. Different types of things.
Man, Haslab Armada Energon with Tidal Wave.
I would love a Titan class Tidal Wave. I would love that. That would be fantastic.
Me too.
As far as G1 though, like, what other deep cuts do we have left? We know that Takara's doing Raiden, for better or worse, if it's Chugster Piece or Chug or Masterpiece or whatever. They've already done Big Powered. The only things we're missing are like Grandis, and we need the other Victory characters for sure. But most of Master Force is done. We need Grandis and Sky Gary. I mean, if they want to go wacky and do like some of the Operation Combination stuff, the 6 Combiner Micromasters or Guard City or Battle Gaia. But as far as Gen 1 deep cuts, we've rounded the bend. Now that we're in Victory.
I mean, what was that Hound hologram guy? What was his name?
Oh no.
They can do
Halonix
Big Red.
Maximus. Halonix, yeah. They could do
Doom
Big
is
Red.
red,
I'd love
yeah.
a Big Red. We speculated that who could be Big Red. What was it? The Bulkhead repaint next year. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What about
Deep
Lyokaiser?
Cup G1? Yeah. When we got Skylinks.
We got Skylinks. We need a new Lyokaiser. We need a proper Deserus. They could do, like, I don't know, we need Metro Titan. And with a new Metroplex coming out next year, Cybertron Metroplex, then that's just ripe. If it's, you know, a Gen 1-ish looking Metroplex, it's ripe for a Metro Titan redeco. But as far as, like, Haslab level, like, wackiness,
Wheelie?
Yeah.
big giant wheelie, yeah. Big giant wheelie. I'd take that.
Life-size Exo
Beast
suit.
Machines Night Scream.
They could do Botanica. They could do Botanica's ship, and she like drops from the ceiling and goes scraw.
I have faith that there's good ideas out there that even the wonderful, the beautiful minds in this particular podcast couldn't necessarily come up with, because
Right.
just because we didn't predict this at all, I'm like, okay, there's still stuff that can be done.
Absolutely.
Like an Omega Supreme animated arc would be
Right.
neato.
I got to say, somebody did a 3D printed parts for
What?
the arc to make them into Omega Supreme.
Mhm.
It looked really good.
Been
I'm
making
proud of
more
them.
rounds.
Yeah, they need to do like that guy that did the custom Autobot City.
Oh yeah,
Do that.
yeah. When I saw that dude did that, I just suddenly it was like my panties dropped. I was like, oh my god, they got to make this. Like, someone's got to make this. I never even thought this could be possible. Even though it doesn't transform into a robot, just do it.
It didn't
Just
transform into a
do it.
robot in the movie, so I mean, it just looks like the city from the movie. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
And for those who don't know
awesome.
what we're talking about, somebody took a Fortress Maximus and a Metroplex, repainted them orange, and like locked them together, and it's evocative enough of Autobot City from the 1986 movie that it's just a gimme.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it was
got
something I
Haslab
didn't know I
fucking
wanted until I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, please.
a big ass vinyl non-transforming Nemesis.
I would take that. I bought the big ass non-transforming Black Zarak and Scorponok as placeholders for these guys.
Yeah,
I would buy a big giant
ass
vinyl.
Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And hey, maybe it transforms, maybe it doesn't.
Maybe
don't
it comes
care.
with magnet beams, and I can attach it to the Titan Arc.
If
Yeah.
they do that, Rick, it has to be sharp enough to like stab you, like the wings and stuff.
That's
don't
how I
want
want to die.
I don't
have to
want
use
any
it to
round
I
defend
want
your
someone
house.
to force that into my heart. And then they take my Transformers collection. In the end, there can only be one.
Got an idea. I'm going to Massachusetts.
In the end, there can only be one.
I think it would kind of suck if we had to wait. Like you mentioned, more Japanese characters, Lucas. I feel like that's a weird label to put on stuff for Haslab, but like we need a Death Source now, so it would suck if we had to wait for the next Haslab for that. Like I hope it's a leader or a commander or something.
MMC, man.
There's
It's
this
good
coming, and the
Well,
Planet
Planet
X
X
is
that
really
made
good.
theirs, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And I got the Gen 1 kit. Yes. But I would like an official one for those who only buy official. We deserve an official Deserus. We deserve a better Lyokaiser. We deserve the Dino Force. We know the tooling is out there for the Combiner Wars Pretender Monsters, which means it's just a palette swap to get the Dino Force, which means do it already. Do it. We'll buy it. Make, you know,
it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'll buy it. I know everyone here, well, maybe not Paul because he doesn't like the Dino Force, but the rest of us will. I'll buy
a little
two.
tiny Starscream.
Oh,
Little tiny Starscream this big.
Gotta
Little
have
tiny
it.
Starscream that
Right.
big.
I could see Kakaryu owning a plush Starscream and just hugging it as he goes to sleep. I can see that. That character would do that.
He would
I feel-
actually hold the AFA grade plastic container that it sits in as he sleeps.
I feel like though they shouldn't ask us what we would buy because we buy everything anyway. So you know.
I mean, now that they've done Studio Series 86, I'm like, well, once they're done with that movie, like, please just do the More Than Meets the Eye or Lost Lights collection or something.
Yeah.
You know, like,
But
just
at that point,
do 5 years of toys that are those characters that look awesome, like just like you did for the Studio
Hey,
Series 86.
we got the Brainstorm, right?
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah.
Skid-
We got Brainstorm
Skids.
and sort of Nautica and the Skids, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Skids.
by then, those figures, I mean, we're getting the new Skids, which is going to be more Gen 1 looking. By then, those characters will have been dead and gone as far as the publishing is concerned for a decade if we waited for the end of Legacy or whatever's next, you know? No one.
Yeah, you know, the movie came out in 85,
86.
86,
Yeah.
whatever. It's
I'm not sure the IDW has the same legacy and whatnot
Yeah.
with their stuff.
It-
So
It doesn't, but I mean, just I'd push for it. I don't know.
Ron mentioned getting like a red Devastator as like a Haslab. I would actually love to see a Devastator that's like a $300 Devastator that's like not quite masterpiece, but like just all the belt, like they just go all out and it's not just constrained by the
elbows?
yeah, exactly. Like it has
Well, that
elbows.
was something that I brought up when we were talking about the Raiden from a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the Masterpiece
right.
Railway Story in the Sky, is that it's not quite fully Masterpiece, and it feels like an apology for the things that were missing from their Devastator, from Takara Devastator.
Mhm.
So Raiden's a weird character to jump into first as your first Masterpiece combiner, but if it does well enough, then I can see them doing a big Masterpiece Devastator that makes up for the issues that the first one, that the official one had, because it was severely lacking in a lot of ways. And I know it was designed to be so big, and then they upscaled it, and they didn't add whatever stories exist for the thing. It was lacking, and we need something better. And I want to
it's
see it.
still,
all the
it's a
decos.
cool figure. Like, I mean, I still enjoy that, but like, it's showing its age now at this point.
It's
You
got
know,
a
I'd
little
love to have
gimp
it.
leg. It's got the little tiny gimp foot. You know, it's got the little tiny
Oh, you
foot.
just need an upgrade kit for that, so you're fine.
Well, that's the thing is, like, yeah, I had to buy like $200 in upgrade kits just to get it to where it was passable, where I didn't
Right.
hate it anymore. Every
Yeah.
year on Facebook, I reshare the thing where I was like, now I have to buy this and I have to buy that and I got to add this thing to it and swap this out. And at one point, Dr. Wu was going to make an entirely different Mixmaster to like completely swap out the leg and get rid of the little
Right.
clubfoot thing. And so I was like, no, I got to buy this and this and this and this and this. And then I still won't like it as much as the Toy World one that was at that point still on the horizon. It was just like, just do it right the first time and arg.
Yep. So,
But if they
All
did
right,
do it
well,
again, sorry.
do we have any final thoughts here on Victory Saber here?
I'm glad it's happening.
Trying to shut us up, Lucas? What's up?
Glad
No,
it's
I
happening.
mean,
I'm
we-
getting 2 of them at least.
I backed the full amount, so
What is the full amount? 20, 24,
you can get 5.
5? Okay.
5.
Yep. I got 2 and the boy got 1, so my household got 3 total. 2 of them will be opened. I mean, we'll see. It depends on how smashed the boxes are when they arrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a little disappointed that we really did not complain about, the figure Haslab. I feel like that's really what we were supposed to do as,
We blabbed about Haslab. It's the Hasblab.
right. So,
But I take that as a victory, if you will, that that we didn't have much, if anything, negative to say about it. As far as our circle is concerned, it's pretty solid and a winner.
get your advertising in place. Don't drop a $700 figure on us without giving us a heads up. All right, do what Star Wars does. Rancor's coming. Get ready.
Right. Or don't do like a Masterpiece Optimus Prime at the same time as you're trying to do a Haslab Kickstarter or whatnot. So
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, are there bad things to say about this? I know I've seen gripes, but I'm like, these don't matter to me.
I think the biggest gripe that people have is like with the arms that they're hollow, but like the Masterpiece or the what was it, the Brainmaster figure, right? Like is hollow. I don't know. Like
the Saber figure.
Yeah. Or the Saber, yeah. His arms are hollow.
His forearms are hollow. Okay. It's a chug figure. So,
but like the Masterpiece was hollow, like the arms were hollow on that, so on the interior, so it's like, whatever.
I still haven't opened my Masterpiece.
You should. It's fun.
You should. It's a fun toy.
I have the Victory Saber from the third-party company.
Do that. They're a whole lot of fun. I flew Victory Leo around my office for days, and they were like, "What the? That doesn't even look like a jet." I'm like, "You don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. So just let me do this."
Space jet.
Yeah, I think the only complaints from like our cast and whatnot was that they kind of wish that they would have made it a slightly higher price point, just to, and kind of made it a little bit nicer. I think that Anna was kind of saying that she kind of wished that, but she never got in on the original Masterpiece Star Saber figure, herself. So, but I'm trying to think otherwise. Like I think Nick said that he liked it, and I don't think there was anyone in our crew that was really saying they didn't like it that much. So.
Well, again, like I said, I thought it was a little disappointing. Like looking at like this gray model picture of what's his name, Lion Man, Leo Zach. Victory Leo. Sorry.
I'm pulling your card.
I just don't like. He looks just kind of dumpy. Like his like lower legs are huge and his thighs are small. Like just some of those aesthetic things. It looks like a toy and not like a really accurate representation of the source material. But again, it's a Generations toy. This is how some of them look. There's always room for improvement in the future.
Yeah, I do kind of wish that, for the reveal that they would have done like actual colored prototypes and not just the gray models, but it is what it is.
There is a guy that has like already done the digibashing, and it looks pretty cool. Looks how it's supposed to.
I'm excited.
So, but yeah, I mean, it seems like since it's already funded 4,800 in whatever, like under a week here, it seems like it should be on its way. Because again, like opposed to Unicron, where they're like adding in all kinds of crazy numbers and whatnot. It seems like this one, especially at the price point, I'm sure that a lot of the retailers and whatnot will probably get in on this one. So, and I don't know if they're going to add in, because they don't add in Asia to this, right? Like, our retail partners, or I guess we don't know, right?
We don't know. That was one of the issues with Unicron is like the last day or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, and the orders from Hasbro Asia came in and we just made it, huzzah.
Right.
Yeah, this doesn't say when it's going to be delivered, does it? I'm looking at the thing now.
I think it says date. By December of 2022, I think, somewhere.
Does it? Okay.
Because it says they're going to start production October of 2021, and then it would be delivered by then, I think.
Yeah, so the last day of the pledge is October 10th.
So you have a full month. You have a full month plus.
Yeah, 41 days.
Save your
1
money.
hour and 20 minutes.
Don't buy whatever for a month.
Don't buy Galactus.
Yeah.
Get this instead. It's cheap.
Well, they're that's a whole different like topic. We could do a whole show on things you shouldn't do if you're trying to afford Transformers.
Yeah.
But yeah, save your money, get your orders in. Don't complain if you snooze. Don't want to hear it.
So
I mean, what would make you on the fence? You either want this or you don't.
right.
Like I don't like no one should have to convince you.
Right. I mean, I think that the Unicron was more like that just because it was significantly more expensive. So it's a lot easier to say, oh yeah, like save up for a $180 figure than a $600 figure.
It's just crazy how the the Sentinel and the Galactus like just destroyed their numbers, like their like targets, you know, and like Transformers just squeaks on by. I mean, it looks like we're in pretty good shape, but we're not halfway there yet. I mean, because it's in the middle of these campaigns, things like tend to slow down.
Yeah, there's the plateau, and then the last week it goes. Ugh.
Yeah, that's why you reveal the last couple of unlockable features later on in the campaign to keep building interest.
Yeah.
Or, hey, here's a colored picture of it.
But, I mean, to me, I feel like a lot of the Marvel stuff, I mean, you know, they've done these figures before, I guess, like with Toy Biz and whatnot. But, like, for a lot of the, like, Marvel Legends collectors, like, I feel like their collection would not necessarily be complete if they didn't have that kind of stuff, is, like, what they feel. Whereas, like, I feel like as Transformer collectors, like, you know, some of us might feel that way, but then there's a lot of people that are just like, whatever. Do I need a Star Saber? No.
I mean, with the Marvel stuff, it's a little different because there's already been a Sentinel. There's already been a Galactus figure, right? In the regular Legends line. So
Right.
this is just a much bigger one.
I'd say this
is
is
Sentinel, but I did get the Galactus. I'm more excited for the Galactus.
I'd say this is a lot more skippable than Unicron was, like in general. Because
I agree.
Everyone knows who Unicron is. Like
Right.
maybe a quarter of the fan base like really knows who Victory Saber is. They probably recognize like the way he looks, you know, just from searching and doing research and stuff like that. But you know, we're all in America. We don't have a ton of affinity for this character that has never really appeared other than in comics.
So next Haslab Thunderclash?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Meant he's only appeared in comics in the U.S. Not that he's never appeared in the show.
I'd love a Thunderclash. Give me some Predator, some Skystalkers. All right, let's call it a night.
Yeah, so thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Ron, Rich, Daniel. Thank you to Zaldron, to Catherine, to FVG BE342. Thanks to Antoine earlier on. To Phil. I think that's everybody. So, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Check out Book Club this week. It is going to be More Than Meets the Eye 4647. It's on the TF Talk Discord at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. There was a cut the tape last week. Hopefully is there going to be another cut the tape this week, or Rick?
I'm planning on it. Yeah. I've got a ton of. I've got Masterpiece. I've got Rodimus, Galvatron, all that Bumblebee buzzworthy crap.
There you go.
I'll figure something out.
Cool. So yeah, so there should be a cut the tape this week as well. Microcasters, not sure what we're doing, but we've got several figures that we can choose from as well. We may be doing the Worlds Collide set, I think, potentially. So, but anyway, so yeah, so check it. Check that out on Thursday nights at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on the TF Talk Facebook page. And I think that's it. So thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.